AI can now write faster than you think. And researchers recently analyzed more than 14,000 self published books on Amazon and found evidence that AI generated books are flooding the market. So, if AI can produce more words, articles, videos, and books than ever, what makes your book worth reading? Or, in the case of my co author books, what's going to make your chapter in a book like Tap Into Your Best Money Life worth reading? The answer is surprisingly simple: your story. If we haven't met before, my name is Carol Westmore, founder of Best Life Publishing, where we create books that help authors step into their visibility, expand their brand through authentic storytelling. Now, I want to make something patently clear. I love AI. I've been teaching authors and announcing how I use AI to bust writer's block in my one book. And I've written a book called ChatGPT, AI Book Writing Formula, for coaches, transformational healers, to write their story in 9 steps, but keeping their authentic human voice and, above all, focusing on their story. This isn't about AI versus human. It's about using AI for what it does brilliantly without giving away one thing that makes you irreplaceable. You. AI can help you research, structure a chapter, brainstorm titles, can interview you, can edit and repurpose your work. It's got astonishingly good at writing in your voice. But there's one thing AI cannot do. It cannot have your life, your experience. And that's where your superpower will lie in this day of AI. Let me show you exactly an example. Recently, I interviewed Dr. Joe Vitale, who'll be writing the foreword to our new book, Tap Into Your Best Money Life. And you know him from the hit movies like The Secret and Zero Limits, but also for having written 90 plus books pre-AI days. He told me a tiny story, not a theory, not 7 steps to success, a story about a pencil. Let me show you.
Was, as you pointed out, when I was homeless. And when I was homeless, I was not looking for a divine power. I was looking for a job. I was not looking for metaphysical insight. I was looking for a hamburger and coffee and a place to live. I was very much into struggle. And
In the foreword and in our podcast interview, Joe describes his turning point out of victimhood when he picked up a pencil and applied gratitude.
I genuinely went in about 1 minute from skeptical and angry and bitter to truly great. And that was opening the door to empowerment.
A pencil. That was his one turning point.
Share your.
Now think about that. AI can tell you what a pencil is. It can write a story about a pencil. It can explain the information about what gratitude is. It can review all the people, the great thinkers of the world today to have talked about gratitude, mindset, manifestation. But AI didn't pick up Joe Vitale's pencil. Joe did. He lived that moment. He felt it. And decades later, he can take us back to that moment. And he can write about it and talk about it as his personal story. That's the power of human story. And I saw exactly the same thing creating my last collaborative book at Best Life Publishing entitled Tap Into Your Best Life with tapping experts. It brings together transformational stories about EFT tapping, practitioners and experts around the world. Of course, there's expertise in the book. In fact, at the end, there's an appendix which tells you how to do EFT. There are techniques, and there are techniques in YouTube videos and books all over the internet. What makes those chapters memorable isn't someone explaining how tapping works. It's somebody saying, this happened to me. This is my story. There's a struggle. There's a turning point. There's a transformation. And increasingly, that's what I'm passionate about as an author, book coach, and publisher. Where did I get this fascination with storytelling? It goes back to 30 years in journalism, because every story must capture a reader And the best way to do that is through story. But the bigger trend is obvious. We can now produce content at an unimaginable scale. So think about this. If we have millions more words, millions more articles, millions more videos, and millions more books, what becomes scarce? Not information, not content, and not words. Human meaning. And this is where you as an author can make a huge mistake. You discover how good ChatGPT or Claude can become and think, great, I'll get an AI to write a book or a book series. I'd turn that completely around. Use AI to help you discover the book or chapter in my co-author books that only you can write. Here's a way you can do that using AI as an author. 1, let AI interview you. Let it help you dig up your memories. Ask it to find the turning point in your story. Use it to organize your thinking. Use it as a developmental editor. Ask it questions. Challenge your ideas. So my philosophy isn't human or AI. It's human-led, AI-assisted. Your expertise, your experience, your voice, your stories, your intellectual property, amplified by extraordinary technology. And that brings me to the book I'm creating now, Tap into Your Best Money Life. Dr. Joe Vitale is writing the foreword on money blocks. What's the money story blocking your success and best life? So what am I looking for? Transformational experts, coaches, healers, and practitioners with a powerful money story to tell. Perhaps you transformed your own relationship with money. Perhaps you grew up with beliefs about scarcity, debt, or unworthiness. Perhaps there was a moment where everything changed. Or perhaps you help other people release the subconscious and emotional blocks that keep them from earning, receiving, keeping, or enjoying money. Because behind every relationship with money, there is a story. Whether it goes back to your early childhood, to the family of origin and your ancestry, or whether it's just something you decided, a vow you took, that you won't be like your parents. The money story question I'd love you to think about is, what's your money story and how could it help others with theirs? Where did your relationship with money begin? What did your parents believe about money? What did you absorb as a child? What did you believe you deserved and even now can be open to receive? And perhaps even more importantly, what did you have to unlearn? I'll put the application details in the description. But whether you want to be part of this book or not, I'd love you to answer in the comments this one question. What one early memory shaped your relationship with money, positive or negative? Because somewhere inside that memory, there may be a story worth telling. But to sum up, AI can generate words, organize information, can even help you become a better storyteller. But it cannot have your childhood, your family of origin, and your turning points. It cannot feel your transformation, and it didn't pick up Joe's pencil. I'm Carol Westmore. If you're an author, coach, transformational expert who wants to turn your expertise and stories into books that matter, subscribe. And if you have a transformational money story, I'm all ears. Finally, if you want to see the whole interview with Dr. Joe, I urge you to watch the next video.